Hello everyone, we are Group 6. Our topic is metaphysics. So our group member is 张忠祥、欧阳乐天、歌之莹、朱浩天、钱嘉诚、赵汉轩、张小元。So we have the 6 content. The number 1 is introduction. Number 2 is branches. Number 3 is problems and theories. Number 4 is develop. Number 5 is significant and application. Number 6 is conclusion. So we move to the first part in introduction. So the metaphysics is a philosophical tendency that focuses on things beyond the empirical level and explores the essence and the principles of transcendence. Its main research areas include ontology, epistemology, cosmology, etc., and the philosophy of mind. It has a long history, from the foundation of Parmenides, Plato, and Aristotle in ancient Greece, to its integration with theology in the Middle Ages, to its further development by modern rationalism, to its criticism by Kant, to the emergence of reflection and the new directions in modern times. Metaphysics has promoted the development of philosophy and other disciplines. Although it has been criticized by many, it has an important position in the history of philosophy and its influence continues to this day. Okay, let's move to the next person.
Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the main branches of metaphysics. Metaphysics is a part of philosophy that asks big questions about life, the universe, and what is real. It tries to answer questions like what is existence, where did the universe come from, what is the relationship between the mind and the body, do people really have free will? There are a few main branches for metaphysics. First is ontology. This is the study of being and what kinds of things really exist. For example, ideas more real, or physical things more real. Plato thought ideas were more real, but Aristotle believed physical things are the base of reality. Second is cosmology. This is about the beginning, structure, or future of the universe. It looks like bigger topics like time, space, and cause and effect. It helps us understand how the world works as a whole. Third is the philosophy of mind. This part studies what the mind and consciousness and how they connect to the body. It asks questions like, can the mind exist alone? Can a machine have a mind? Last is free will and determinism. This talks about whether people can really make their own choices, or if everything is allowed, decided by cause and effect. In short, metaphysics helps us think deeply about the life and the world. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
What is existence? In metaphysics, existence is a concept. It refers to the actual existence or realities of things. Existence can be understood as a basic state or property that enable things to have some status and meaning in the world. For example, when we say that a tree exists, we acknowledge that it has a physical intelligence and corresponding properties in the real world, occupying a exact amount of space and time. However, difficult philosophers have different views on the nature of existence. Some philosophers believe that existence is an objective, independent reality for human connection. Hence, and attributes entity. An entity is a thing that exists independently and have its own issues. It is a kernel of attributes and does not depend on anything else to exist. For example, a specific person has several attributes, such as lighting, skin color, personality. But this person as an entity exists independently of these attributes and is the basis on which this attribute can be achieved. Attributes. Attributes are features of properties of an entity that cannot exist independently but must be achieved to intense. Properties such as the red, round, and sweet taste of apple cannot exist independently of the apple as an angel. Possible words. Leibniz unity view. Leibniz believed that the possible world is a factory of personal models of the world that God constant when creating the world. Based on his wisdom and goodness, God created one of the most perfect worlds out of countless possible worlds. Every possible world has its own laws and characters. That possible world also not a real and logical possible.
Hello everyone. Now, I would like to briefly introduce the mind-body problem, a key issue in philosophy. Descartes proposed dualism, which holds that the mind and the body are two separate things. The mind is immaterial and the body is material, but they interact. Physicalism takes the opposite view. It believes that everything is material and that the mind is just the activity of the brain and nothing more. Then there is panentheism, a narrow view that all matter have some from the consciousness. In the view, everything may have a little bit of a mind. Each theory tries to explain how our mental world is connected to the physical world, but the debate continues. Now I'd like to address free will vs determinism, a classic debate in philosophy. First, determinism holds that everything, including human behavior, is caused by prior events. According to this view, all behavior is part of the cause chain. The free will zero, on the other hand, holds that humans can make real choices, not solely determined by past events. There's also the compatibilism, which holds that determinism and free will can coexist. As long as our actions stem from our own thoughts and intentions, they can still be considered free. The debate goes to the heart of human nature, whether we are the originators of our own behavior or just characters in the story of cause and effect.
Today I will talk about the interaction between science and metaphysics. The problem of the reality of quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, wave functions are used to describe the state of the microscopic particles, and experiments such as double-slit interference have proved that they are accurate in prediction. But does the wave function really exist? Metaphysics has different views on this. Some people think it's just a metaphysical tool, while others think it's reflect microscopic reality, which involves the definition of the concept of reality. Scientific experiments proved a basis for metaphysical discussions, and metaphysical thinking proves an explanatory perspective for scientific theories. The problem of time in the philosophy of time. In physics, relativity shows that time is related to space, and cosmological theory proposes that time may have a starting point, challenging the traditional view of time. The field of metaphysics has been exploring whether time is an illusion. For example, my target questioned the objectivity of distinguishing the past, present, and future. Scientific research results proved new ideas for metaphysical discussions, and metaphysical theories also lay a solid philosophical foundation for scientific research and avoid conceptual confusion.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to briefly explore two modern approaches to metaphysics, quest analysis and model metaphysics. Quest challenged the traditional metaphysics by rejecting abstract speculation. For him, the question of existence must be based on empirical evidence and shaped by our linguistic and scientific frameworks. His formula for being redefines ontology as part of our best scientific understanding, rather than as a metaphysics theory divorced from reality. On the other hand, model metaphysics examines what is possible and what is necessary. Through the concept of possible worlds, it allows us to explore other realities and understand how contingent and necessity shape our view of existence. Together, these ideas transform metaphysics from a timeless abstraction to a study rooted in language, logic, and the possibility of living. Now I will briefly discuss the metaphysics of continental philosophy, focusing on Heidegger and Derrida. Heidegger places being at the center of metaphysics, not as a static essay, but as something revealed through human existence, which he called Dyson, and thus metaphysics is reoriented. For him, existence is always temporal. We exist in time, and it's through time that meaning unfolds. Thus, existence precedes any fixed essence. Instead, Derrida deconstructs metaphysics language itself. He argued that texts and concepts are never stable, then are characterized by differences, contradictions, and delays in meaning. By challenging metaphysical dichotomies such as existence, non-existence, or truth error, he invited us to see meaning as always in flux. Together, Heidegger and Derrida push metaphysics beyond certainty to delve more deeply into the limits of being, language, and thoughts.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'd like to invite you on a journey that goes beyond formulas, job prospect, and daily routines, a journey into the heart of reality itself. Our topic is the significance and application of metaphysics. Now I know what you are thinking. Metaphysics isn't that abstract stuff philosophers argue about in armchairs? Well, yes and no. It is abstract, but it's also deeply relevant, especially for us university students. For first, asking the fundamental questions. At its core, metaphysics is about the big questions we don't often ask in daily life. Who am I? What is real? Does my mind exist independently of my body? These may seem distant from our lecture notes or assignments, but they are not. They form the foundation of how we think about ourselves, others, and the universe. And by exploring these questions, we don't just study philosophy, we become better thinkers. We learn how to reason clearly, think critically, and look beyond the surface level on answers. These are universal skills, useful in every field, from business to science to art. The second, bridging discipline through philosophy. Here's something fascinating. Many of today's most advanced scientific debates are metaphysics at their core. Take artificial intelligence. Can a machine be conscious? If so, should it have rights? Or think about free will. If our actions are just brain chemistry, are we really alive? Or just biological robots? This is the multiverse theory. Are there parallel versions of you and me somewhere out there? And finally, religion and spirituality. Do we have soul? Does God exist? These are questions humans have asked for thousands of years, and they are still asking them today. Metaphysics doesn't just belong in philosophy books. It connects to physics, neuroscience, AI ethics, and beyond. For third, adding meaning to university learning. Let me ask you something. Why are you here in university? To get a degree? Sure. To get a job? Of course. But beyond that, aren't we also have to find meaning? To understand the bigger picture, metaphysics help us ask, why do we learn what we learn? What is the nature of truth, of time, of identity? What are the hidden assumptions behind science or logic or even reality itself? These questions may not be on your final exam, but they shape how you see the world and how you shape your future.
Conclusions. I divided the conclusions in 3 parts. The number 1 is research content. Metaphysics explores transcendental essential principles. Number 2 is historical development. Originated in ancient Greece, it was integrated with theory in the Middle Ages. Developed in modern times, criticized by Kant. Number 3 is modern significance. It provides a framework for science, facilitates ethical discussions, and helps people understand themselves and the world. Okay, thank you. This is our group representation.